This is what it's actually like to be in your early 20s. Hi to those choosing to watch my video. Today I'm going to be doing my makeup while talking about what it's like to be in your early 20s, because it's not as simple as social media makes it out to be. Anyone in your 20s, this can apply to. I am still in my early 20s. I'm 22, soon to be 23. Before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe. We gotta support our small content creators out here. Also, I'm being realistic with how my room looks too, because I know y'all see that. I have to put that away in my drawers and I just haven't yet, okay? I did already put my primer on my face before I started recording, just so it had a little bit of time to actually set, so I'm ready to go. Yeah, as you can tell, skin's a little busted. But we'll fix that right up. I'm actually going to do my eyebrows off camera. This is something that I can't talk while doing because it's a trust the process type of thing. One momento. I've had better eyebrow days, but this is just the best they're gonna get with them growing out. One of the biggest lessons that I learned was to balance out your priorities, okay? Don't sacrifice everything for work, school, relationships even, and just learn how to balance them evenly. Because if not, you're going to be miserable and feel really isolated. It's just learning how to balance your priorities out instead of feeling like you need to choose or sacrifice one or the other. They all can coexist. I feel like this is just something that a lot of people battle with on their day-to-day lives, especially in your early 20s. Say they're, in college, or if you're still in high school, you're just like, oh, I need to focus only on my schoolwork. But then it's like, but what about going out and having fun with your friends, or even your family, or a relationship? And you're like, oh, I don't have time for that, I can't. You can. No one is ever too busy to fit other things in their lives if they really want them. It's just being willing to manage it in a healthy way where you're not choosing one or the other or leaning towards one more than the other. Because there's been a lot of people around me who think like that, and I try to help them understand that it's not all or nothing. You don't have to put your all into one thing and then feel like, oh, now I don't have this. Or, oh, I have to sacrifice this to go do that. Or, oh, I can only do this. Of course, at the end of the day, do what's going to ease your mind the most. But that doesn't mean having to isolate yourself and only do one thing. Especially thinking that you only can. Alright? Don't think like that. That's a negative mindset, and it's very much possible and manageable. It's just willing to try to balance everything out. So yeah, it doesn't have to be all work or all relationship or all friend time or even all me time. You figure out what your priorities are, what do you want in life, even if that's work, relationship, school, whatever. But you're like, but I don't know how to handle everything at the same time. Well, you try. You give yourself some sort of routine. You make time and fit time in your life for your other priorities. That's not even just like people or relationships, it's your hobbies, your me time, your friend time, or even seeing family. A lot of people I notice struggle with the all or nothing mentality. A lot of people think it's all or nothing, when it's actually not. People also lean towards that because it just feels easier to have one thing on your plate rather than a lot of other things. Again, you feel really alone and isolated, and then you question, why am I so alone? Why do I not have anybody? And sorry to break it to you, but you kind of put yourself in that position. You don't have to be alone. Nobody deserves to be alone. No one deserves to be too busy where they can't make time for other things or other people. It's only if you truly believe that and want to have more than one thing. For other people, that's how you think, then, that's how you think. But if you truly want more, then, well, the first step is being willing to balance it out. Here's the next one that I constantly try to remind not only myself but other people. Don't settle, and don't feel like you need to settle. It's your life, it's your story. Do what makes you happy and feel fulfilled, even if it's small things. Sometimes you gotta start out with the small things. It's not always the big things either. I'm always telling people to live your life for you, because unfortunately a lot of people feel like they can't. they're like, oh, well, I need to live my life for my parents, or live my life this way because of society, or because the people around me are doing this, or even just family in general. Again, that goes back to feeling miserable. And it's like, we all have a purpose on this planet, and I truly don't think our purpose on this planet is to live in other people's shoes and to live other people's lives. It's okay to want to live a better life than maybe what your parents had or whatever. Like, I can understand that. I think the same way too. But that doesn't mean that you have to do everything that they want to do and people please them and just please them in general. You know, it's okay to want to make people around you proud, but what matters most is making yourself proud to feel fulfilled in what you're doing. Truly do what makes you happy, and don't feel like you need to live the life that you don't want, especially if it's not going to make you happy. Do what you want. Do what makes you feel fulfilled. Do what makes you happy and passionate and creative, rather than do something just because it's easiest. This goes back to like working jobs, because I made a video recently kind of saying that. I'm kind of battling with myself lately with that, is because I'm not working a job that I want to do for the rest of my life, but I have to start somewhere to make more money and to save, right? A lot of us are in that boat. Okay, I mean, that's like everyone on this planet. So then you kind of feel defeated though when you see other people your age, whether it's influencers or just your friends, family members, and you can't help but think, maybe I should just be doing that because it seems like they're more successful. When it's like, you can get more successful in your life. It's just having that mentality and believing in yourself and starting somewhere to get there. You know, it's one thing to say you want to do things, but it's another to actually act on it. Live your dreams and try to achieve your dreams, because it is possible. Don't feel like you have to settle because someone else told you to, let alone you making yourself feel that way. So it's just really important that you don't compare your story and your pace with others, because that's their life, their journey. You're living your own. The question is, do you want to live your life not being you, or do you want to live your life being you? And I hope it's the second option. Be you. Do what makes you feel like you. Go do something that you're actually passionate about. Society makes us feel like, oh, well, I need to just work this 9 to 5 so I can have a home. Don't get me wrong, like, obviously having a home and a roof over your head is what everyone deserves, but you can start somewhere that you don't want to start at, but you don't have to stay there forever. Like for me, you know, I've had my fair share of different jobs, and I'm really trying to strive to do all the things that I want to do and that I have interest in. Not limiting yourself and settling is the main thing. A lot of people in your early 20s feel like that, right? Because you're lost. You're like, oh, I'm not doing what I want to do. I feel like I'm not doing enough. Or you feel like, oh, it's too late. First off, it is not too late. You are just starting. Get out of that mentality and start somewhere, you know, whether it's do your research, ask people around you who might have interest in things that you have interest in as well, and go from there. But yes, of course, sometimes you do have to start at the bottom and have to start somewhere that you don't want to get to where you need to, of course. All right, we're not all fortunate. We're not all nepo babies with a shit ton of money just thrown around. Okay, I understand that, trust me. It really upsets me when I see people my age beating themselves up because they feel like they're not doing enough. You just have to be patient and don't limit yourself either. It's good to have goals, it's good to have ambition. Definitely carry those with you, but don't feel like you need to do everything like a snap of your fingers. That's also not realistic, and we need to remember that as we live our lives and experience life. Don't put yourself in a box and feel like, well, this is how much money I make, this is the money that I grew up living on, this is where I live, so this is the type of life I'm meant to have. No. And thinking like that is going to hold you back. Life isn't linear. Your 20s, especially your early 20s, are supposed to be messy and complicated. And if you think differently and if you think life is supposed to be easy, I hate to break it to you, you'll find out soon. And the fact that it is messy just means your story is being sculptured, and also it's part of experiencing. And experiencing comes with bad with the good. Life is going to be messy. Life is going to be complicated and hard sometimes. You don't need to have everything figured out. Okay, it kind of goes back to the other thing I was talking about. That's the whole point of being in your 20s, is to figure it out, not have it all figured out. Alright, especially if you think right after high school, for example, a lot of people think you need to have everything figured out, what you want to do, what you want to be. When it's like, not everyone is programmed like that. Not everyone's pace in their life goes like that. You find out later in life. The truth is, this is all of our first times living. Technically, being in your 20s is actually the start of you building and sculpturing your life. Like, yes, obviously you've been living, but you haven't actually been figuring out your future for you as an independent adult or young adult until now. Say you go to college, you major in something like the first or second year, and they realize, I actually want to do something else. And that's okay. That's okay to switch things up. That's okay to want to do different things, want to be different things. Again, it's part of experiencing and figuring you out. You don't need to know who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do right away. We're gonna have different phases and stages in our life. I might sound like a broken record throughout any videos I make talking about mental health or just, you know, real life world problems and whatever, but it really is something that needs to stick with a lot of people, especially people my age and in their 20s. It can apply to anyone, not even just your 20s, but this is specifically for your 20s because that's like where a lot of people have identity crisis and feel like they have to have everything figured out when it's actually not the case. No matter what your parents, society, people on social media say, it's your journey, your life, and it's okay if you have a slower pace or a faster pace than others. Being easier on yourselves, and don't beat yourself up because maybe you're not doing what this person is doing or what this family member is doing or what that social media influencer is doing. That's their journey, that's their life, and it's okay to maybe want to do what they're doing because sure, yeah, you'll look up to people and actually want to do what they're doing, but it's still your pace and it's going to be different than others. It's more so feeling like you need to have everything mapped out right when you graduate from high school or right when you hit 20 years old or even 21. So focus on other things while getting to where you want to be at. Living is to experience things and to feel things, and that includes the negative and hard parts of things. Don't live to survive. Live to feel alive, be happy, okay? That's like the goal for everyone. You don't need to have tons of money to be happy. You don't need to have everything figured out to be happy. It's okay to be struggling and unsure about things while being happy. The big thing also in your early 20s is uncertainty. That's like for anyone, you know, there's so much uncertainty in the world that we have no control over. All you can focus on is the now, the present, and what you can do to get to the future. And what you want to do for the future. But don't be too caught up in the future. Don't be living in the past because that already happened. There's no need to dwell on it. That's what holds you back as well. Live your life for you, not anyone else. And don't live your life trying to be someone else. This kind of goes back to a little bit that I was just touching on slightly of comparing yourself to other people's lifestyles. We really shouldn't compare ourselves to other people's careers, lifestyles, even dating lives. We're still young and have plenty of time, even though we're growing up. It's a really strange thing because it's like, I'm growing up though, but I am still young and still have so much time in my life. We have time, all right? Don't feel like you need to rush to catch up when you actually are caught up. It's just you're at your own pace and journey. It's not wrong because they might be there and you're here. Getting out of that comparison mindset of, which is a big thing a lot of us do, because it's like, oh, well, this person got scholarships or at this really amazing college. Maybe you didn't go to college or are in college but aren't like at a great college in your opinion, or they're like, oh, but they're in this really happy relationship, like I want to be in a relationship, or even, oh, but I want to do this, like this person's my age and they're doing that already, but I'm nowhere near there yet. It's okay, because you know what? That's their life, not yours. This is your life. Now you can be inspired and want to do those things, but just think to yourself, what can I do now with my life while being me to get to there? Sit around moping, feeling sorry for yourself, and beating yourself up for something that you don't need to be doing. You have time and you still have a chance for all those things that you might be comparing yourself over someone with. whatever that person's doing, you're more than capable of doing too. And I'm making this video not because I have everything figured out and because I'm anywhere near where I want to be at. I'm making this to also show that I am someone who very much struggles with some of these things that I'm talking about, and just showing that it's normal, it's common, and realistic. So whatever I'm talking about, some of these things I most likely am still thinking and feeling, but trying to do better by it. And that's why I want to make this video, to help others too, and myself, work towards the things that you want to work towards, but don't focus too much on, oh, but they're doing this or they're doing that. Still be yourself doing it all. I know it's easier said than done, but I'm not necessarily telling you what to do, but I would like to give you some insight that I'm learning as I go, and just reassurance. We're all going to be okay, even if it doesn't feel like it. It's not the end of the world, it's the start. And a lot of us, I think, feel like, oh, it is the end of the world, like I didn't do this and I'm already 22 years old, so that means it's over for me. First off, no. That's you being a critic to yourself, and a lot of us tend to feed off of our inner critics. Let the negative thoughts win rather than being positive and open-minded. That's realistic too. It is, knowing that there is good and bad, but there is never necessarily the impossible for anyone. That is a very big thing for a lot of people, is comparing, especially with people who we follow on social media. Because you might even see someone your age or even someone younger who like bought themselves and their mom a house, and you're like, girl, I can't even afford my own rent for an apartment, right? You're just living the realistic life. Doesn't mean that you're doing things wrong or that you're failing. If you want to get there, you can, even if that's being a social media influencer. But also think realistically about it and know that sometimes you do have to still live a regular 9-to-5 type of lifestyle if you want to get there. You're capable of getting there if you actually believe in yourself and actually do the things to get there that are healthy for you mentally and physically. Anyone who's working towards something in their life and who has goals and ambitions, whether you're working somewhere, you're in school, I see that as enough. I see that as you trying, and you trying is you living life right, in my opinion. When you sit there looking behind a screen and thinking, damn, like, I'm failing in life, you're actually not. You trying is enough. You being here is enough. The fact that you're going to that job, you're going to school, you're still making time for your friends in a relationship, hitting the gym, or just doing your favorite hobbies and mixing all those is enough and is amazing. That's you living your life for you. And that's something you should be most proud of, because that's how you're going to feel most fulfilled, is having all these things in your life, because everyone deserves those things in life, even if they want to have that job or have that lifestyle. So we can dive in a little bit about finances, because that's also, like, I think the top 3 big struggles that people in their early 20s battle with is not making enough money, not working the job that they want to work yet, just because that person got that internship, or that person happened to go viral and now like makes a shit ton of money, or is working somewhere that you would want to be working at where you are currently. It doesn't mean it's impossible, and doesn't again mean you're failing, but at least you're making money. Okay, save. I think this is also just because I grew up with like not a lot of money as like a middle class lifestyle or household. You know, my mom, even now to this day, my mom, my Grammy, whoever, like, we love shopping when there's deals. I mean, who doesn't? Like, I was someone who always had, like, that year's new phone model, like, 3 years after it came out. So I was, like, 3 phones behind until I could get that one that I wanted. I'm someone who didn't grow up with money, so I think that also ties into what I'm about to say. But I've never really cared for money like that, in terms of, like, you know, I always make sure if someone's buying something for me, whether it's food or gifts, I'm always wanting something cheap, the cheapest thing on the menu, or like the cheapest gift to ask for. Like, I don't care to go out on luxury dates, although I would love to, but I'm not like expecting that of other people, because I know we're all struggling out here. But the main thing I want to say is save your money though. So I'm very much on like, save your money even if you're not making a lot. Put a little bit towards saving. That's important, especially in your early 20s. Whatever job or jobs you've been working. If you have debt, whether someone else is covering that for you with college, but still, you know, have some, maybe if you want to pay them back a little bit or help pitch in. But also just important to have savings, all right? That also helps you realize, damn, I can be smart and responsible with my money. That also goes into building credit too. I look at it as someone who's responsible and can keep up with maintaining money and managing money. I think that's like a really good thing to know, is learning how to save money, not splurge. And I'm not saying don't treat yourself, treat others. Definitely, again, it goes back to, like having a relationship, hanging out with friends, but also working. It's also learning how to manage your money as well. Whether you grew up with money or didn't. For example, I didn't really. And so that's why I kind of take money more seriously than, say, someone who grew up with a lot of money. That's not to say, though, just because you did, that you don't care about money. You don't always have to go do something that costs a lot of money, and just like make that little note to your family, friends, the person you're dating, and be like, I just, I want to do something more chill. I am like trying to save. That is part of a goal of mine, is saving money. I just wanted to make it known that dating and love is possible for you, whether you're someone who's like a go-getter and wants to just only work. You can have a relationship being in your 20s. Don't feel like, oh, I just need to dabble into the hookup culture and casual dating. You can very much find the one, if that's how you want to call it, the one or your person that you actually want to date to marry. Don't feel like you need to hook up with other people because that's what they're doing or the person you like is doing, and then you feel like, oh, well, I don't have time for a full-on relationship, so I guess why not? And be in a relationship with someone who supports you and is sticking by your side through all the ups and downs and different stages and phases in your life. The right person sticks by you through all the different stages and phases in your life, because you are going to have them. It's important that you don't feel like you need to sacrifice relationships to only work. I'm not saying like pick and choose your priorities, okay? Obviously, if that's really not a priority of yours, then that's great. But if you're already in a relationship and this is someone that you want in your future, but like work is just really hard for you or school is really hard for you right now, have a conversation, because that's not your decision to make, to feel like, oh, well, like they don't want to deal with me because I have all this baggage. Newsflash, we all have baggage, even if it's worse than others. We're all living for the first time, all right? It's okay. And the right person will be like, yeah, I know, but I still want you. I still want to be together, and I still want us to succeed. I guess this could go in a different thing of like hookup culture. I've made that known plenty of times that I don't like hookup culture personally, or casually dating and have multiple partners in my life. I very much am someone where it's like, I will be devoted to one person. I want to grow, evolve with this person. I'm not looking to replace and just try out different people. And just because I think like that doesn't mean people who don't are bad or wrong, but I'm just saying that's me personally. But anyone who might think similar to me, don't then feel like, I just don't think I'm meant for love. We're all meant for love, so don't feel like you need to dismiss that and push it away. Right? Allow it to come in. The right person will support you and be your partner, right? That's part of being a partner, is saying, okay, you want to do this? All right, then let's do this. So we still have each other in our lives while doing these things and not getting too caught up in what we're doing or in our relationship. Because a lot of people, I think, are fearful of losing their independence and what they want to do in life when they're in a relationship. You very much are deserving of love and can have love. It's possible, it's doable. It's just being with the right person, first off, who won't take it personal and who will actually help make it healthy and manageable for both of you, and not feel like, well, I need all your time. That's all you have is me, and that's all that matters. No, but don't feel like then, oh, well, all I can really have right now is work in my life. Or convincing yourself that because it feels easier again to have one less thing on your plate, and expressing those things and talking about your futures and I don't know, who you want to be, what you want to do, and the right person will stick by you through all that. And I'm not telling you how to date or what to prioritize, but for anyone who I guess needs to sacrifice relationships to work or sacrifice work to be in a relationship, don't do that, okay? Again, it goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning. It's just balancing everything out rather than feeling like you need to have one or the other in life. You make time for what and who you want in your future in life, and your 20s don't always need to be experiencing multiple lovers or experiencing multiple people sexually. Okay, don't get too caught up in that if that's something that you don't want. again, being influenced and feeling like you need to fit in. Do what makes you feel like you. And if a relationship, long-term, dating to marry is something that you want to do, then you find the right person who has the same mentality, who is willing to make sure you don't get too caught up in the relationship. So that's what a lot of people break up for, is because it's like, I don't know, like school and work is already a lot. I just don't think the relationship is in the cards. And then you end up losing something amazing, someone amazing who actually was willing to stick by you through the hard times in life. But I guess I'll just add my little 2 cents in that for anyone who thinks the way I do. But if that's something that you truly don't care to prioritize right now, then continue doing your thing. Go on that date, book that flight, buy that thing, go to the gym, sleep in if you want to. You can have fun and enjoy living your life while building your life. I'm being honest, I don't know how I feel about my makeup today, but it's fine. That's where I'm at as someone who's in their early 20s. Anything that I talked about in this video is stuff that I've battled with and sometimes still even do. If you're going through this, whether you're in your early 20s or not, you are definitely not alone. And don't feed into your inner critic, because anything you're telling yourself is not true. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching me do my makeup while I talk about the realistic thoughts of someone in their early 20s and just the reality of what being in your early 20s is actually. This is to not only reassure myself, but to you as well, that you don't need to have everything figured out just yet. You have time. So it's really important that you be patient within yourself and to still enjoy your life. Do what you love to do the things that make you happy, and don't feel like you need to sacrifice those things that make you you and happy to get to somewhere. They all can coexist. Definitely comment down below one thing you've learned about in your early 20s. I'm curious to see what you guys are growing and learning from as you're experiencing and living your stories and lives. I just would love to hear everyone's perspective. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of these type of videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to be easier on yourselves and stay positive. Other than that, you guys will see me very, very soon. Bye!